From Daily Trust News Center, this is News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour, troops killed dozens of IPOB members in joint operations in Enugu and Ebonyi states. 11 people feared killed by electric power surge in Zaria. Central Bank raises cash withdrawal limits to 500,000 naira and 5 million naira for individuals and corporate bodies. Rebel crisis in eastern DR Congo threatens endangered mountain gorillas. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. I will begin with security, where troops of Nigerian Army attached to the 82nd Division have killed some members of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra during a gun duel at Amago village, Nkalaha community in Ishelu local government area of Ebonyi State. The dissident group's members were neutralized by the operatives of the Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Police, and Department of State Services, who were on exercise Golden Dawn II on Monday. Army spokesman Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, who disclosed this to newsmen in Abuja on Wednesday, explained that some members of the group disturbing the peace of the southeast fled with gunshot wounds during the joint operation. Nwachukwu stated that the troops recovered 102 rounds of 7.62mm special, 2 pump-action guns, 5 locally made rifles, 1 roll-of detonator, 33 electrical cables, 36 hand grenades, and 12 bags of substances suspected to be marijuana, among others. The Director of Department of State Security in Imo State, Wilcox Idaminabo, says the department has made a major breakthrough in curbing insecurity in the state with the arrest of kingpins behind frequent attacks, especially burning of facilities of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Idaminabo, who spoke in Owerri at a stakeholders meeting with the resident electoral commissioner, Sylvia Uchenna Agu, said the department will continue to work to ensure that peace is restored in the state. He said the department has also dislodged the camp at Osu, where the hoodlums have made their headquarters. According to him, the constant raid by operatives of DSS led to the arrest of one Mike Ahize, who is the leader of the hoodlums in Osu. He said the pounding of the hoodlums camp in Osu has made them to relocate to Aku Ihube axis along Okigwe Expressway, where they continued with their attacks. Idaminabo, however, expressed delight that another leader named Ejima was arrested Tuesday night. Residents of Malagum 1 and Sokom villages in the Kagoro community of Kaura local government area of Kaduna State said 38 people were killed by bandits. The victims of the attacks also said they have lost valuables and property worth millions of naira, including houses which were destroyed, calling on government to beef up security in the area.
While I was seated around 11 p.m., I heard sounds of gunshots. I woke my father. He said I should leave him alone. They set the house he was in ablaze. It is all I know that I'm telling you. They also killed my wife while trying to hide here.
The Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Baba, has commissioned an ultra-modern divisional police station with an attached police barracks for senior police officers in Amawbia, Anambra State. Speaking at the commissioning, Baba assured Nigerians that the force under his watch is ready to ensure free, fair and credible elections come 2023. He also warned that the police will not spare common criminals who are hiding under agitation to attack people.
There are challenges, particularly in the southeast, which number is one. It might be the boiling point, the most, or the second. But your determination to live together, your determination to surmount these challenges is yielding results, and we are behind you to make sure that anybody who is interested in ensuring that there is law and order and people go about their local businesses are being encouraged. The challenge before all of us is the 2023 general election. We have promised as security agents and members of the military to provide a level playing ground for politicians to go about politicking, and for also those who want to exercise their franchise, the environment will be created for them to exercise their franchise. Free, fair, and credible election will take place.
On a sad note, no fewer than 11 people are feared dead following electricity surge in some areas of Zazzau. Reports say areas affected include Gwargwaje and Kawaranjuli, situated along the Zaria-Kaduna Expressway. A resident of the area said the surge followed the restoration of electricity. Those feared dead include a pregnant woman, health personnel, a police officer, and others, all in Gwargwaje area. Details of those that lost their lives in Kawaranjuli have not been ascertained yet.
Wannan gobara da ya auku a daren jiya zuwa wayewar gari yau sanadiyan kawo wutar lantarki, kuma gidaje da dama ne wannan abin ya faru da su a nan anguwan Gwargwaje.
The Federal Road Safety Commission on Tuesday said 18 persons lost their lives at Iwaraja Junction in Oriade local government area of Osun State between January and December 2022. The Osun FRSC commander, Paul John Okwe, disclosed this during a public enlightenment at the junction. Hamid Oyegbade has more.
The Ilesha-Akure Expressway links the southern and northern parts of the country. Most of the fatal crashes on this road occur at Iwaraja Junction. Between January and December 2022, at least 51 crashes were recorded at Iwaraja Junction, in which 18 people died. The traditional ruler of the town, Oba Sunday Ishola Ibirunke, said despite sacrifices offered at the junction to appease spirits, the crashes persisted.
As a king, nobody would like all this thing to be continuing in his own domain. Some people advise us, maybe it's spiritual, and we have spent a lot of money, kill dogs every time. We can see that we're doing that. We just have to look for another solution.
My advice to our people in NURTW, to maybe we have advised them already to stop drinking when they are driving. In our park, even Nature East, we are talking to them over and over to not drink alcoholic, so that to avoid accidents on the road.
As part of moves to prevent crashes in the area, the Federal Road Safety Corps took its end-of-the-year special intervention sensitization campaign to the junction.
By this period, you know that the Ember month period is when you see more vehicular movement between the north and the south of this country. And the essence why we're holding this event here at the Iwaraja Junction is that you know, we have recorded a number of road traffic crashes at this junction, especially because of the attitude of many drivers who come from other parts of the state that take road violation at this very junction especially. And that is the essence why we're holding it here, to send the message out that every driver needs to be patient, especially while using the road at all times.
The Federal Road Safety Corps believes that road traffic crashes can be reduced if drivers adhere to traffic rules. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
The Central Criminal Court in London has again denied bail to former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu. The court, in a pre-trial hearing on Tuesday, gave its verdict denying the bail on grounds that Ekweremadu would flee the country. In the bail application, Ekweremadu's lawyer had urged that the Nigerian High Commissioner to the United Kingdom and the Attorney General of the Federation had written to the court that Ekweremadu was not a flight risk. The lawyer further argued that a guarantee to produce him should he pose a flight risk was given, adding that the Nigerian High Commission in the UK had equally given the option of tagging Ekweremadu electronically to monitor his movement. As regards attestation of Ekweremadu's character by respected Nigerians and organizations, his lawyer also argued that the lawmaker had proven to be a caring and responsible father and could not escape from London without his wife and sick daughter. Defense further told the court that they had sureties and securities of nearly £500,000 from 11 people to secure Ekweremadu's release on bail. A federal Capital Territory High Court has ordered the interim forfeiture of $899,900 and 304 million naira recovered from a former Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The court also forfeited 15 properties recovered from Idris in Kano and Abuja. The properties linked to Idris, which were listed in the schedule for forfeiture, include Kano City Mall, Al-Ikhlas Shopping Mall at Mandawari, Kano, one-story shopping complex at Ladanai, Kano, corner shops at Ladanai, Kano, a duplex at Karsana, Abuja, Royal Duplex at Deneji Quarters, Kano, and a duplex at Plot 271, New Jersey Street, Effa Blue Fountain Estate in Abuja. Idris and others are being prosecuted by the EFCC on 14 counts of stealing and money laundering to the tune of 109 billion naira. Justice M.A. Hassan gave the order on Tuesday, December 13, 2022, while ruling on a motion ex parte filed by the EFCC. Moving on to politics, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has vowed that if voted into power in February 2023, his government will never give room for Academic Staff Union of Universities to embark on strike. He also vowed that his government will not condone any form of police brutality and will take proactive steps to check the rising insecurity in the country. He spoke at his presidential rally at the UJ Eswene Stadium, Calabar, on Wednesday. Obi assured that he will secure and unite Nigeria and allow the rule of law to prevail. Governors of Kaduna, Katsina and Kano states said their choice for Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the southern part of the country is still the best option for the unity and progress of Nigeria. The governors said this at a meeting with Christians across northern states with the wife of the APC presidential candidate, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, in Kaduna. The report.
The meeting between Christian under the aegis of Christian Northern Nigerian Political Forum and the wife of APC presidential candidate Oluremi Tinubu, governors of Kano, Katsina and Kaduna State, is to mobilize the support of Christians in the north and assure them that Muslim ticket is not an agenda to Islamize Nigeria. The governors of 3 northwestern states urged them to shun politics of bitterness and sentiment for not only the development of the region, but the country.
The coordinator has explained why some of us, the APC governors of northern Nigeria, stood up and took 2 key decisions. First, we agreed that after 8 years of President Buhari's tenure, the next president should come from southern Nigeria. This is in the interest of northern Nigeria, it is in the interest of the unity of Nigeria and progress of our people. That was the first decision we took.
We do not discriminate, but after assessing the situation of politics, the situation of leadership in Nigeria, we said no. A northerner should not hand over power to a northerner. Yes. If we are to be honest, it were to be frank, it were to be rational. Therefore, we said our presidential candidate in our great party, APC, should come from the southern part of this country.
A leader is someone who will do justice to all Nigerians and even animals, irrespective of where they come from. Senator Oluremi Tinubu said a united Nigeria, despite its diversity, is destined to be a great country.
Since this campaign has been going from one state to the other, and I couldn't believe how beautiful Nigeria is. Nigeria has so much prospect, and there's so much we can do together for our nation. The unity of our nation, despite our ethnicity or religious divide, God has a plan for this nation. And in unity, we can move forward.
With less than 70 days to election, candidate and political parties intensify campaign to woo the electorate to vote for them. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Nigerian women say they're being denied opportunities to actively participate in the nation's democratic process by blocking their chances of emerging as candidates in various electoral contests. A cross-section of women in Abuja supports the position of Women Affairs and Social Development Minister Pauline Tallen, alleging deliberate marginalization of women by political parties in decision-making. Shafi'u Suleiman has the report.
There are a significant number of registered women voters ready to cast their votes in the next year's elections, as indicated by the current INEC registration database. However, only 11 women have secured tickets of 18 political parties to contest for senatorial and House of Representatives seats in Abuja. The nation's capital has only one senatorial and 2 federal constituency seats. Only Labour Party gave its senatorial ticket to a female candidate, Ireti Kingibe. Over the years, women have been crying marginalization in electoral contests and leadership opportunities, either by their male counterparts or political parties. This, they say, denies them active voice in the decision-making.
We don't have any achievement in the government. We are left behind, and we are the ones that counted their votes. So they should help us so that we can have our own representative there.
We, the women, we vote more than the men in politics. When you call 2 women, before you know, you see 10 or 100 women. But men, they are not coming out like women. So we need women in that position.
That is why we are putting our support for all the women, that the only one woman that is coming out. So we women here, we are going to put our support for her so that she can be there, then speak for us.
Their position re-echoes concerns raised by the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Pauline Tallen, alluding to such marginalization.
I am using this medium to call on all well-meaning Nigerian women to support one another. We must support the women that are contesting, the few that have emerged. If we don't have women at the decision table, there's no way our laws can be better that will suit the family. Because whatever a woman does, she takes the interest of her children.
Women constituted majority of the voting population in Nigeria. As you can see behind me, they are in hundreds, queuing up, for support from their political party in terms of what some will term stomach infrastructure. They've been given mini bags of rice to support their families. But beyond this, women are said to have been marginalized, in terms of electoral contests. The number of women occupying elective political offices is low when compared to their voting population. Shafi'u Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Still in politics, the Independent National Electoral Commission in Gombe State has warned politicians in the state against instigating violence in the build-up to the 2023 general elections. The INEC resident electoral commissioner in the state, Umar Ibrahim, gave the warning during a press conference on Wednesday. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Concerned about the peaceful conduct of the 2023 general elections in Gombe State, the Independent National Electoral Commission urged politicians to shun violence and run issue-based campaigns. This warning comes a week after structures were burnt down at the campaign office of the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the state.
The accord has only captured the perpetrators of the crime and the punishment that we have been. But then now, since the Electoral Act has given us the power to prosecute even those that support or sponsor the perpetrators, so let them know that both the perpetrators and their sponsors are equally guilty by the Electoral Act, and it will be captured in the accord. And as I said, this morning we had interstate excess meetings, and this issue has been trashed seriously, and definitely there will be change by the grace of God.
In preparation for the election, the electoral umpire said it received a total of 2,988 bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS machines, and other non-sensitive materials.
The state has started receiving non-sensitive materials ranging from INEC bags, ballot boxes, sleeping mats, etc. for the 2023 general elections. And all our stores have been evacuated to enable them receive election materials as they come. We have also received our BVAS, that is Bimodal Voter Authentication System. As I said earlier on, we have 2,988 polling units in Gombe State. So the number of BVAS we have collected so far is exactly 2,988. So we have the full complement of the BVAS we need for the 2023 general elections.
Gombe recorded 181,331 new voters registrations in the recently concluded exercise. However, there are 231,900 uncollected voters cards, including leftovers from 2019. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
You're watching Trust News Hour. Coming up after the break, farmers see light at the end of the tunnel. Do stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Hello, Abuja residents. Did you know that the FCT administration, in collaboration with security agencies, has put adequate measures in place for round-the-clock surveillance around the territory to safeguard the lives and property of all residents? Yes, FCTA has also taken steps to checkmate the activities of criminals in and around the territory. Security agencies have adopted proactive measures to fish out criminals and other individuals plotting to truncate the peace and tranquility of the FCT. Did you know also that you can support these efforts by giving accurate and timely information to the security agencies that will assist in nipping any form of criminality in the bud? Yes, part of your support to keep the FCT safe and secure is to stop sharing social media posts, videos, or comments that are either totally fake news or have the potential to misinform and mislead the public and therefore have negative implication on the security and well-being of the FCT and the residents. Remember, security is everybody's business. Be security conscious. Play your own part by helping to keep the FCT safe. This message is from the Federal Capital Territory Administration.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. We told you that troops killed dozens of IPOB members in joint operations in Enugu and Ebonyi states. You also heard that 11 people feared killed by electric power surge in Zaria. Moving to more news, Speaker of Taraba State House of Assembly, Joseph Albasu Kunini, has resigned from his position, citing personal reasons. His resignation notice was contained in a letter transmitted to the lawmakers on Wednesday and was read by the Deputy Speaker, Haman Adama, who presided over the sitting. The Chief Whip of the Assembly, John Kizito Bonzena, who represents Zing State constituency, was unanimously elected by the lawmakers as the new Speaker. Bonzena, while speaking after his emergence as the new Speaker, denied the allegation that a palace coup was staged by the members to remove the Speaker from office. While soliciting the support of his colleagues, he promised to work round the clock to build on the achievements of the former Speaker.
I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to Taraba State House of Assembly. I have been in the leadership and I know how friendly the past administration has been with the press. So what really happened this morning is normal in any State House of Assembly, or either State House of Assembly or National Assembly. It is normal. The former Speaker resigned based on personal reasons. And as a House, we don't allow vacancy. That is why a new Speaker was elected today. And by the grace of God, I happen to be the one that was elected to succeed him. So it is not a palace coup. He is still one of us. He is so dear to me. I'm very close to him, and he is also very close to me. Humanly possible, I will do my best to make sure that as a House of Assembly, we perform our duty as expected, so that the state does not suffer as a result of a vacuum created by the House of Assembly. So I will do my best to make sure that it's going to be a teamwork. I'm not going to work alone. Because I'm the Speaker, it does not mean that I will work alone. I'll consult the past speakers, if they are still members of the House. I will consult those that are in the House, so that it's going to be an open door policy, so that we'll move the state forward. That's what is going to happen. Thank you.
Plateau State Coalition of Civil Society has protested against what it termed the non-passage of Local Government Autonomy Bill 2022 by the State House of Assembly. The coalition said its call for the immediate passage of the bill hinged on the fact that it would enhance democratic rights of the people, strengthen responsive governance, and guarantee right to life and property, among others. Dixon Adama sent in this report as presented from our studio.
Other benefits of the bill, the coalition says, are the deepening of the rule of law, enhancement of rural areas, and competitive human development. The protesters, who came from across the 17 local governments of the state, gathered at the Secretariat Junction in Jos, the state capital, and began their rally from there to the House of Assembly. They chanted solidarity songs backed by music while displaying placards with different inscriptions. Civil rights leaders in different remarks justified their action.
It will also stop the pilfering of the money and the resources of the local government. And at the end, people will have the mandate to elect people that believes in local government and people that they not be antecedent, and on that basis also hold them accountable. The local system will also make sure that not only will the environment be secured, the forest, a lot of criminal elements are taken advantage of.
Allow the punishment for Nigerian people. And Nigeria electorate does not deserve to be punished for voting the movement government into power. Bravo is very, very strategic Because the governor of Plateau is the PG campaign committee, campaign council of the ruling party in Nigeria.
The Deputy Speaker of the House, Saleh Yipmong, who received the protest letter from the coalition and also represented the Speaker, said the coalition's demand will be duly considered, adding that they have always been local government friendly and in support of its cause.
Autonomy. Yes. Did it emanate today? The answer is no. The Plateau State House of Assembly has been into existence as long as the democratic tenets in the entire global world. Plateau State House of Assembly has been in the forefront of all agitations of labor. I stand to be corrected. And I know that there are veterans who are here who has pursued the cause of labor and indeed the cause of the Nigerian people. And in conjunction with the Plateau State House of Assembly, in recent time from 1999 to today.
The coalition said it will not rest on its oars until the bill is considered and passed, adding that they will resist all attempts by some anti-democratic forces, either as individuals or groups, with the intention to impede the passage of the bill.
Farmers in Kano and Jigawa states are hopeful that they will recover what flood destroyed from this season wheat production. Although farmers are still coming to terms to challenges threatening wheat production, they see a light at the end of the tunnel. In this report, Trust TV's Northwest correspondent Idris Jibril takes a look at how wheat farmers are supporting each other during dry season farming. His report.
Seeds are growing. Farmlands are once again becoming green after the devastating floods. No doubt, wheat season farming is here again for irrigation farmers in Nigeria's northwest region. Farmers in Ringim area of Jigawa State are seizing the moment, hoping to recover what they lost from the last rainy season's flood, which wiped out their entire harvest. But they say there are still challenges.
Actually, I want to plant wheat here. Last year I did it and I enjoyed it. So this year I want to do it too. But we need government to help us with seed and also fertilizer.
Luckily, there may be a light at the end of the tunnel, as Farmers Support Group, with the help of federal government, seems to have found a way to avert the much anticipated food crisis in Nigeria through the wheat farming season.
We give you per hectare one water pump machine, 3 inches, and 6 bags of NPK and 3 bags of urea, which means to 1 hectare is 10 bags of fertilizer. The intention of the program, it is to cap the kind of poverty disease that is eaten up into our nation.
According to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, these cultivation machines, fertilizer and seeds are being distributed to wheat farmers in Kano, Jigawa, and several other states affected by this year's flood disaster. The idea is to prevent food shortage.
Federal government of Nigeria has planned on 5. Next year, to make sure 250,000 hectares of land is put into use in cultivating wheat crop.
Although wheat farming has commenced in earnest, but a team of experts are visiting farms in Kano and Jigawa State to examine the preparedness of wheat farmers in meeting up with the urgent demand, which is said to have been threatened by the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
As the rising cost of living puts a strain on households, individuals are increasingly cutting spending to survive the difficult moment amid dwindling income and surging prices. Some Yola residents share their experiences with Silas Lawang on how the cost of living is affecting their marriages, as well as what they are doing differently to sustain their lives ahead of the Christmas and New Year celebrations. The report.
Economically, most Nigerians are currently struggling to feed their families as a result of the high cost of living occasioned by inflation. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, food inflation is at 14-month high, hitting 22.0% in July, while headline inflation accelerated to 19.64%. The situation, many say, has put a strain on families and leads to unpleasant scenarios among couples.
Mu ci gaba da rayuwa da haka, mu ga abun da Allah zai yi mana, komai yana da ƙarshe ba abun da ya zo dawwama.
Things have gone beyond the reach of the common man. I got separated from my wife because we could barely feed. It is very unfortunate because she refused to understand that things are no longer like they used to be. I believe we will only get out of this mess by electing leaders who have our interests at heart.
In ba mu manta ba, ai kusa yi babban zabe. Ina ba da shawara.
We have a very big task ahead of us as Nigerians, and that is the 2023 election. It is critical because if we vote the right persons, I believe that such credible leaders will bring an end to these economic challenges. Some Yola residents believe the solution lies in prayers and election of good leaders as a way of addressing the crisis between couples as the result of the high cost of living in the country. Religious leaders admonished Nigerians to be steadfast and trust God as the situation is temporary.
Having high cost of living or lower cost of living all depends is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there is every need religiously we should go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should in as much as human beings are the ones that coordinates their lives on earth, but the super being, that's God himself, is the one who directs things.
That the cost of living actually affected many homes. We cannot deny the fact that the economy has affected many homes. Some women have got divorced to their men, and men divorced their wives because they cannot catch up with them any longer. Let us manage our home, our little resources, not to have many broken homes. Because this calamity we find ourselves in Nigeria will not be forever. In fact, we are looking forward to a better Nigeria next year as we elect another leadership.
They advocated for continuous availability of food at affordable prices for all. From Yola, Silas Lawang, Trust TV News.
Moving on to more stories. As part of efforts to fully implement the federal government's National Livestock Transformation Plan in Nasarawa State, the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue and Implementing Partner of the NLTP is brokering a peace deal between two traditional monarchs in the project location, in Awe and Azara Emirates Councils. The monarchs are the Emir of Awe, Isa Abubakar Umar II, and his counterpart from Azara, Kabiru Musa, respectively. While signing the agreement in Awe local government area on Tuesday, the lead facilitator, Ahmed Yassin, explained that his organization facilitated the signing of the Peace Pact to prevent crisis between farmers and herders across the 13 local government areas of the state. The state coordinator of NLTP, Abdullahi Musa, stated that the program earlier launched in August 2021 by the state governor, Abdullahi Saleh, is to enhance peace between farmers and herders across the state.
You recall that NLTP has been launched in Nasarawa State on the 8th of August last year by His Excellency the Governor, Engineer Abdullahi Isle, to ensure that peace between farmers and herders is maintained. And that can only be done by, modernizing or transforming the way we do livestock, how we keep our animals. And we do that one by restricting the movement of animals, because the animals move because of search for food and water.
So the sole purpose here is to have meetings, dialogue meetings, one with the communities, and through them, the traditional rulers who have signed a peace agreement today, purely preventive, purely to tell them that dialogue is the best way to prevent and also resolve conflict when they occur.
President Muhammadu Buhari has sent a supplementary budget of over 819.5 billion naira to the Senate for approval. Buhari's request is contained in a letter read on the floor during Tuesday's plenary by the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan. The report.
According to the letter, the sum is to fix road infrastructure damaged by flooding this year across the Federation, including the FCT. In the letter, the President stressed the need to complete 9 critical roads which had hampered the smooth movement of goods and services across the country.
This may compound the situation of food security and nutrition in the country. The flood also devastated the road infrastructure across the 36 states and the FCT that affected several sections of major roads and bridges nationwide that are critical for movement of goods and services. The water affected by the flood, and there is the need to complete some ongoing critical projects that have achieved about 85% completion. The 9 critical projects proposed in the sector cut across water supply, dam projects, and irrigation projects nationwide. I have therefore approved a supplementary 2022 appropriation of 819 billion 536 million 937,813 naira, all of which are capital expenditure. The supplementary will be financed through additional domestic borrowings.
President Buhari's letter equally indicated that the supplementary budget will be financed from additional domestic borrowings. When approved, it is hoped that the supplementary budget will help ease the devastating effect on road infrastructure occasioned by flooding in some parts of the country.
Moving on to transportation, the Lagos state government on Wednesday flagged off the Lagos Light Rail, which is expected to convey 250,000 passengers daily from Mile 2 to Marina in its efforts to improve transportation system in the state. Abdulatif Aliyu reports that the Blue Line project is coming on stream 42 years after the project was conceptualized during the administration of the first civilian governor of the state, Lateef Jakonde. The report.
Completion of the civil work on the first phase of the 27-kilometer rail route, which covers Mile 2 to Marina. The state government did a test run of the project ahead of the commissioning by President Muhammadu Buhari in January 2023. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, alongside other stakeholders, including the representatives of the contractor, the China Engineering and Construction Corporation, CCECC, members of the State Executive Council took a ride for the test run of the project. Sanwo-Olu, who spoke before the train ride from the National Theatre Station to Marina, which is about 7 kilometers, said the dream of having an integrated transportation system is now becoming a reality.
Members of the State Executive Council that have turned up here in large number, thank you very much. You are indeed the people that have also made it happen. There have been several push from you, but I want to also acknowledge your colleagues, the Commissioner for Transportation, Dr. Fred, and the Special Advisor on Transportation, for their own personal doggedness. The body of permanent secretary that are here, especially the very hardworking permanent secretary, in the Ministry of Transportation, Engineer Toriola, thank you very much for the work you're doing, and all of your directors and your ministry.
Chairman of the CCECC Nigeria Limited, Zhang Zicheng, stated that the commencement of the operation of the Blue Line project will definitely write a new chapter for the transportation of Lagos.
With great joy, we are here to witness the completion of the Lagos Blue Line Phase 1, which is an important milestone for the project. Over the years, with the continued support from Your Excellency, the Lagos State Government, and the people of Lagos, and the joint efforts of relevant stakeholders, we finally arrived at this completion day.
The Managing Director of the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, LAMATA, Abimbola Akinajo, disclosed that the rail project will move no less than 250,000 passengers daily, while the entire line, when completed, will move more than 500,000 passengers.
So what this means is that in terms of all of the civil infrastructure work, it's complete. So what we're going to start doing now, like Mr. Governor said in his speech, we're going to start doing testing of all of our processes. We're going to work very closely with NRC, who are the regulators of railway systems in Nigeria.
The Blue Line is one of the 6 rail lines articulated in the Lagos State Strategic Transport Master Plan, which the former governor, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, developed.
This is indeed good news for Lagos State. Now moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari has said auctioning of the 5G spectrum alone generated $547 million, further fueling options for funding development. This was stated by President Buhari at the commissioning of a National Shared Service Center of Digital Screen Training in Abuja. Fatima Musa was there and now files in this report.
Buhari, who lauded the contributions of the digital economy in driving growth, creating employment and generating revenue for the country, further said it has become imperative for Nigerians to be more aware of the importance of providing essential transformation building blocks such as infrastructure, policies, and digital skills.
As part of our efforts to expand our digital infrastructure, we increased our 4G base stations from 13,823 to 36,751 from August 2019 to date. And this has increased the percentage of 4G coverage across the country from 23% to 77.52%, also from August 2019 to date.
The president added that there is need to ensure that the center will always contribute its quota in the upliftment of ICT in the country.
Part of our efforts to make Nigeria the destination of choice for top digital talent, we are partnering with leading global ICT companies to train Nigerians in cutting-edge, high-demand digital skills. The giant strides made by the digital economy sector under the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Fantami, has been very impressive. I commend the Honorable Minister and other stakeholders in the sector.
Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Isa Pantami, said the center will go a long way to facilitate the growth of technology and also serve as an investment to the country at large.
The contribution of ICT to GDP was nothing to write home about. But if you look at the record, Your Excellency, you have set, we have 3 unprecedented records when it comes to contribution of ICT to GDP in Nigeria. The first record was set in this first quarter of 2020, based on the report released by the National Bureau of Statistics. ICT then contributed 14.07%. Your Excellency, that was unprecedented in the history of Nigeria.
People from all walks of life said the flag off will give youths in the country opportunity to become self-reliant and make them contribute their own quota to the development of ICT in the country. Fatima Musa, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Thank you, Fatima Musa, for that report. You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. More stories after the break.
Ba a iya sutura da abinci jin daɗin duniyar mu ya ƙare. Za ka iya more rayuwarka da kayan alfarma na kamfanin Vento Furniture kamar su Ladi Corner Sets, Escape Sofa Sets, Acadia Sofa, Piano Sofa Sets, Sofa Corner Sets, Vento Sofa Sets. Sannan kuma za ku iya saka ƙayatattun gadaje na alfarma a ɗakunan kamar su Gold Cream Bedroom Sets ko kuma ku wadata falon ku da kujeru na alfarma irin su Sare Royal Set da Acadia Dining Sets. Ofishoshinku kuwa za ku iya saka manya-manyan kujeru na kece raini domin walwala da jin daɗin ku da abokan hulɗa. Kamfanin Vento Furniture ya tanadar muku gadajen bacci na yara masu inganci, kayan ɗaki irin na angwaye da amare har ma da sarakuna. Muna da shagunan mu a gurare kamar haka: 79 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos; 7A Azikiwe Road, Port Harcourt; 25 Glover Road, Ikoyi, Lagos; Shop U1 Jabi Lake Mall, Abuja; da kuma 4330 Walker Road, Windsor, Ontario ga mazauna ƙasar Canada. Vento Furniture mun zagaye ko'ina.
Welcome back. The Central Bank of Nigeria has increased the weekly cash withdrawal limit for individuals to 500,000 naira and 5 million naira for corporate bodies. A statement from the Director of Banking Supervision, Haruna Mustafa, says the upward review takes effect from January 9, 2023. Mustafa said requests for legitimate withdrawals beyond the reviewed figures will attract a processing fee of 3% and 5% for individuals and corporate bodies. The CBN noted that it recognizes the vital role cash plays in supporting underserved and rural communities and assured that it will ensure an inclusive approach as it implements a more cashless policy. Let's now join Chairman Dabeng for more business news.
The federal government has invited bids from investors across the world for 7 deep offshore oil blocks. The Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission's chief executive, Gbenga Komolafe, made this known on Wednesday at a news conference in Abuja. After the passage of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 and since April 2007, when 45 blocks were offered but under the old rules, Komolafe stated that this is the first time a bid for a deep offshore asset is still being accepted. According to Komolafe, a pre-bid meeting will take place on January 16, 2023, while potential investors are expected to submit their bids for the blocks latest January 31, 2023. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Temipre Silva says that increased security and monitoring of crude oil have increased oil output, which has risen from 900,000 barrels per day to 1.6 million barrels per day. He stated that the federal government was making efforts to ensure that all domestic and foreign oil businesses resume production of crude oil in the nation at full capacity. Silva noted that as a result of widespread pipeline vandalism and crude oil theft in the Niger Delta region, the country's oil majors substantially reduced their crude oil production. He said the country has lost money as a result of oil corporations' decisions, which have negatively impacted daily crude production. President Muhammadu Buhari, in anticipation of the federal parliament passing the 2022 appropriation bill by Thursday, has sent the National Assembly the 2022 finance bill. Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbadabiamila read aloud the bill's cover letter titled Transmission of the Finance Bill 2022 to the National Assembly for consideration and passage into law in support of the 2023 budget during Tuesday's plenary. In the proposal, the federal government called for a broader revenue base and a fairer method for funding state and local governments. That's all for business news. I am Chamun Dabeng.
On the foreign scene, M23 rebel activity in volatile eastern DR Congo is threatening mountain gorillas in Virunga National Park, leaving the endangered species vulnerable to poachers, a spokesman said on Tuesday. About a third of the global population of mountain gorillas live in the park, a renowned wildlife reserve spanning 7,800 square kilometers on the border with neighboring Uganda and Rwanda. But spokesman Bienvenu Bwende said M23 rebels in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo have seized swaths of territory in the park in a recent offensive, restricting conservationists from areas inhabited by the great apes. He told AFP that specialist teams from Virunga National Park are no longer tracking the mountain gorillas, which means the animals will lack medical care should they fall ill. Virunga National Park, a World Heritage Site, counted some 234 mountain gorillas in September when its agents could still circulate with relative freedom. And finally, let's hear from Adeni Ajishafe on Sports News.
The Athletics Integrity Unit has banned 3 Kenya athletes for failing doping tests. Sprinter Mark Otieno, who tested positive during the Tokyo Olympic 2021, has been slapped with a 2-year ban for using prohibited substance, metastrone, with the suspension starting July 31, 2021, as its result from June 24, 2021, had been disqualified. Alice Kimutai is the second banned athlete who received a 3-year suspension for the use of another prohibited substance, testosterone. Her results from September 2022 have also been disqualified. Also receiving a 3-year ban is John Stone Mayo, who is accused of using EPO, while his results from May 29, 2022 all stand nullified. The victorious Team Nigeria callers have returned to Nigeria after picking the ticket to the 2024 Youth Winter Olympics. The team returned to winning ways despite suffering early defeat in the qualifying tournament that took place in Finland. The Nigerian youngsters rallied back in the final rounds of the qualifier to secure their place in the competition slated for 2024 in South Korea. And in football, Plateau United head coach Fidelis Ilechukwu has appealed to the leadership of Interim Management Committee (IMC) of Nigerian Domestic League to make it mandatory for MPFL clubs to give more slot to grassroots players. The former Heartland and MFM FC of Lagos coach made the appeal after FC Jersey defeated Austin Amatu Academy to emerge champions of the maiden Fidelis Ilechukwu football tourney held in Jos, Plateau State. Ilechukwu said giving more of these talented players the chance in the MPFL will go a long way to better the nation's football, as the MPFL is the bedrock of national cadet teams. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Hour. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.